Hello students, we are starting with a new topic of geography, class 12. The chapter name is Human Geography, the first chapter of physical geography book of class 12. So let's start the topic. But before starting the topic, let me give you an overview regarding human geography, that what do you mean by human geography. You see, this topic is quite new to the students of class 12. So let us discuss about the topic human geography. Human geography and its nature. Human geography is the systematic study of relationship between human societies and Earth's surface. Now, if I talk about human geography is a study of the environment, of the ecosystem, and of the place where a human being or the animals live together. Human geography actually study the interrelationship between the human beings and the physical environment, that how they both interact with each other. Human geography is the study of changing relationship between the unresting man and the unstable earth. Now you see, if I talk about our earth is changing. The geography, the geological processes of our earth changes. So as a result, how the humans interact and how they adjust to the changing situation, this defines the study of the human geography. Human geography studies the interrelationship between physical environment and socio-cultural environment created by human beings. Now, it also discusses about the interrelationship between the human environment and the physical and socio-cultural environment, that how human beings adjust to the physical environment and the socio-cultural environment. In a particular environment, human beings have to interact with everyone, with the socio-cultural perspectives as well as the physical environment in general. So as a result, we study human geography so that we can understand the nature of the world around us and the nature of our particular environment where we are living. Human geography varies from one place to another. If I talk about the human geography of Antarctica, that human geography is completely different from the human geography of our continent Asia. Our continent Asia is considered to be the most populated continent in comparison to the other continent. For that reason, our Asian continent's human geography will be far more different in comparison to the North American, South American or African continent human geography. Now let's go to the another topic. Naturalization of humans and humanization of nature. Now, how naturalization of humans is compared with the humanization of nature? Human beings interact with their physical environment with the help of technology. The technology represents tools and techniques through which we produce and create. Now, if human beings want to interact with the physical environment, then technology is essential. With the help of those technology only, we can interact with the physical environment. Now, technology also indicates the cultural development. Technology also indicates the cultural development of the society, and human beings understand the natural laws more easily with the help of using those technology. Now, the example comprises of the understanding of friction and heat. Yes, the friction and heat. If I talk about friction and heat, those examples actually has created the energy of fire. When during the Stone Age, fire was being created with the help of this friction and heat only, the fire was being created. With the help of this science only, we interact with the physical environment, and with the help of those scientific nature only, we make use of the technology to go through the process of civilization. Now, the type of interaction between the primitive human society and strong forces of nature was environmental determinism. Very, very important. If I talk about environmental determinism, which means the primitive human society and the strong forces of nature. Again, I am repeating, the primitive human society and the strong forces of nature, when they both interact with each other, it is known as environmental determinism. If I talk about environmental determinism, it is the early stages. It is the early stages where technology was being harnessed and came into the stage of development. Those development was very primitive during that time. The people begin to understand their environment and the forces of nature with the passage of time. With social and cultural development, humans develop better and more efficient technology. With the sources of the nature. With the development of those nature, only people create more effective technology so that they can interact with the physical environment properly. Now, humans develop better and efficient and more efficient technology. How humans develop more better and efficient technology? With the help of the nature laws only, with the forces of nature only, people harness those forces of nature and make use of those technology so that those technology can be used effectively and efficiently. They create possibilities with the resources obtained from the environment. Now, whatever the resources that are being obtained from the environment, those can be harnessed with the help of technology itself. The imprints such as health resource on highlands, huge urban sprawls, fields, orchards and pastures in plains and rolling hills, oceanic routes and satellites in space are termed as possibilism. Now, what do you mean by the term possibilism? Now you see those resources through which it is possible to make use of the technology and go for the development of a particular nation. This is known as possibilism. Possibilism means the possibilities of using those resources effectively. Such as, if I talk about health resource on highlands and huge urban sprawls and fields and orchards. Now, the growing of orchards, the growing of pastures, in fact, the health resource that are being grown in the dilapidated areas, those are known as possibilism, which means possibilism is an idea through which people can adapt themselves into very harsh environment as possible, or to extract resources from the harsh environment, or to make the use of the resources in a more effective way. This is the idea regarding possibilism. I hope you have understood about environmental determinism and possibilism. At last, we will be differentiating between environmental determinism and possibilism so that you understand it more clearly. Now, we will be understanding about naturalization of humans and humanization of nature. Now, naturalization of humans is considered to be the early stages of interaction. It is considered to be the early stages of interaction between the natural environment and the humans. Like during the Stone Age, how the humans were interacting with the nature, and by interacting with the nature itself, only they have discovered fire, and they have discovered that how they can make use of the resources. It indicates low level of technology. During the naturalization of humans, low level of technology is first required. Then only from low level technology, we will be going to higher technologies. Naturalized humans listen to nature, are afraid of its fury and worship nature. Now, if I talk about naturalized humans, they worship the nature. They worship the nature of God. As a result, they are very much afraid of its fury. Direct dependency of humans on nature. Most of the people are dependent on nature. If humans are naturalized, they are mostly dependent on the nature for food as well, for other resources as well. The physical environment for naturalized humans becomes mother nature. Very, very important. Now you see, if I talk about naturalization of humans, the physical environment is considered to be the mother nature for the humans. That time they considered the physical environment to be the mother nature. Now comes the humanization of nature. Now, if nature is being harnessed by the human beings, then what happens? It refers to the interaction between the forces of nature and the human beings. Now, the forces of nature and the humans, when interact with each other, is considered to be humanization of nature, because to understand the forces of nature, that time the interaction of the humans with the nature is much essential. It indicates the development of essential technology. To indicate the development of essential technology and the social and cultural relations as well, humanization of nature takes place. Now, humans move from a state of necessity to a state of freedom. Now, humans move. You see, humans move from a state of necessity to a state of freedom. Resources are obtained. Resources are obtained from the environment to create more opportunities. Now, you see, there are ample resources in one particular country. But if the resources are not harnessed, then what's the use? As a result, the human beings harness those resources so that they can effectively go for the development process. Human make use of nature so that nature gets humanized, showing the imprints of human activities. Now, humanization of nature means more interaction or more interference of the human activities. The more human activities will be interfered, the more humanization of nature takes place. Now you see, if I talk about the difference between the naturalization of humans and the humanization of nature, in the naturalization of humans, humans are mostly dependent on the nature itself. Now, if I talk about humanization of nature, here the humanization of nature, humans are making effective use of the nature, which means human is actually creating the nature, and with the help of the natural resources only, they are going to the process of development. I hope you have understood this one. Now, the concept of neo-determinism. Now, very, very important regarding neo-determinism. You see, whatever possibilities we have used, we have harnessed, now comes the neo-determinism. Why do we tell the term neo-determinism? You see, neo-determination, stop and go determinism. Now, human activities are excessive. When people make more use of the resources and all the resources are in the process of extinction, or are endangered, during that time, those human activities are considered to be stopped. This is known as neo-determinism, which means human activities are excessive and now it is about to stop or terminate. Damage to the environment, then such activities should be stopped. Now, you see, if there are more human activities, then it will be creating a damage to the environment itself. So, as a result, that time the human beings are considered to terminate the use of the resources. The geographical concept was given by Griffith Taylor. The term was given by Griffith Taylor, suggesting that humans modify nature but must obey its limit, acting like a traffic signal where nature stops but technology green allows progress. Now you see, according to Griffith Taylor, this concept has been given by him, which means that human means excessive use of the resources, and when resources are being used in excess amount, as a result, there must be a stop. But the technology progresses us to use those resources. The progress within bounds balance extreme environmental determinism and possibilism to promote sustainable development. Now, here the main term comes the sustainable development, and if you are studying geography, it is very much important to understand the term sustainable development. If we are making the use of the resources effectively and in best possible way, up to the future generation or up to the future upcoming as well, this is known as sustainable development. Now, sustainable development means it is a balance. It is the balance between the environmental determinism and possibilism. If the resources of the environment is being used in a very balanced way, during that time we use the word sustainable development. Now let's come to the difference. You see, here we will be differentiating between the three important topics. The three important topic comes the environmental determinism, possibilism, and neo-determinism. Now, environmental determinism. What do you mean by the term environmental determinism? It is the climatic determinism or geographical determinism, which means the climatic determinism and the geographical determinism is known as the environmental determinism, where human beings make use of the resources to go for the development process or to make use of the technology so that they can interact with the physical environment. This is known as environmental determinism. Now, S comes for possibilism. Possibilism is considered to be the possibilities, those possibilities through which we can make use of the resources in the effective way, which means with social and cultural development, humans develop better and more efficient technology. Now, possibilism considers those humans which have developed better and more efficient technology so that they can make use of the resources or they can interact with the physical environment more better with the help of those technology. They create possibilities with resources obtained from the environment. Now, possibilities. There are so many things in the world which are not possible, but those possibilities help us give those determinism so that we can make use of the resources or continue making use of those resources. Neo-determinism reflects the middle path. Now, neo-determinism reflects the middle path. Now, what is the middle path? The middle path is the environmental determinism and the possibilism. You see, if I talk about environmental determinism, I am writing in short form, environmental determinism and possibilism. Here, neo-determinism comes in the middle. Neo-determinism comes in the middle. So, neo-determinism creates a balance between the possibilism and environmental determinism. I hope you have understood the topic and you have liked my class. If you want to know any of the courses regarding Bhadra Academy, then you can contact in this number. Thank you for watching my video.